Miss Alberti, are you going to pray for us today? Miss Alberti, are you praying for us today? Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the invocation by Miss Alberti and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, song?
There you go. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Miss Alberti. And would the clerk please call the roll?
Hankins Booker. Smith. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Present.
Warren.
And a quorum is established, and at this time we'll have a statement by the councilwoman from Ward 1.
I have to get organized or I'll talk in circles like I usually do. Good evening. I come to you tonight with mixed feelings with an announcement regarding my service on the Lawton Fort Sill City Council. I have loved serving and helping people and giving back to the community. That's always been my goal, to give back to the community much of what it has given to me, a place to grow and develop. Over the past several weeks, many of you have reached out to encourage me to continue representing Ward 1, even as my husband and I prepare to relocate outside the ward boundaries. Your support and confidence mean the world to me. As the newspaper correctly reported, there is no legal barriers preventing me from continuing in this role while living outside of Ward 1 until my term is over. However, after much consideration and prayer, I have decided that I will be resigning from my position on the City Council in the near future. I encourage residents to serve. You know, I once was an armchair council person. It's a whole different ballgame. So it has been so rewarding, indeed one of the most rewarding things I've done in my lifetime. I want to announce this now to give prospective applicants time to think before the actual resignation. This decision comes as I transition into a new chapter, supporting my husband as his role in Mayor of Lawton Fort Sill. The responsibilities that come with being the mayor's spouse, attending community events, supporting city initiatives, and being present for the many functions expected of the office require my full attention and dedication, not to mention my family, my children, grown children who I'd like to see more of. It has been an extraordinary privilege to serve alongside what I believe to be the most aggressive and progressive city council in modern times, and quite possibly in the city's history. Together we have tackled challenges head on and pushed Lawton Fort Sill forward with unprecedented momentum. When I took office, citizens made it clear that streets were their major concern and priority. I am proud that we listened and acted decisively. Streets have become such a priority that it's kind of irritating when you're trying to go somewhere. So We will complete 105 street projects across our city, a testament to our commitment to infrastructure and quality of life. Citizens were also deeply concerned about boarded-up houses when I took office and neighborhood blight. I am particularly proud of how we've addressed our dangerous and dilapidated structures. We can always get better. And transformed our approach to neighborhood cleanup through the new Department of Safe and Clean Neighborhoods. The difference is visible throughout Lawton Fort Sill. Additionally, residents wanted assurance that the city revenue was being spent properly and transparently. We have dramatically increased transparency and accountability in our operations, and we continue to work on initiatives that improve our efficiency. Our audit was a definite thing about that, all moving us toward the ultimate goal of being the most efficient city in Oklahoma. I'm particularly proud to have been part of implementing 2 of the largest CIP improvement plans in our city's history. These investments in our infrastructure and our neighborhoods and our future will benefit residents and generations to come. That's what it's about. It's not just about us, and I always preach that. It's about the future. It's about our children, and that's what, we may not be going swimming in the park, but our children will be, and the children in the future will have that structure there for them to enjoy. It's about the future. It's not about me. It's not about other people that are older. While I'm stepping away from the council, my commitment to Lawton Fort Sill remains unwavering. I will continue to serve our community in my new capacity, working alongside the mayor to ensure our city continues its trajectory toward being the most efficient city in the state of Oklahoma. 25 years ago, I came to Lawton to take a job at Great Plains Technology Center, helping people to get back into the workforce. And the community welcomed me with open arms. Lawton welcomed me with a warm welcome, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And they even elected me to the city council. That was amazing and exciting. I won 3 different campaigns and without a runoff, so I guess that's just a little bragging. So thank you for the honor for me to represent Ward 1. Thank you for your trust, your input, and your dedication to making our city better and stronger every day. The people of Ward 1 are just special to me. When I took the office, I thought I wanted to view them as family members. I don't know that I've gotten that great, but I have tried to respond to most of their concerns. This formal resignation process will be completed in the coming weeks, and I look forward to continuing to serve Lawton Fort Sill in new and different ways. I can't not serve people. From my background in social work, I'm not happy unless I'm serving. And I hope there's a lot of other people that feel that way too, and I hope someone will feel that way that will choose to apply for Ward 1. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
a point of order, please.
Okay, what's your point?
Not you, Mary Ann. Point of order being that we know all are welcome here in the council this evening. Certainly happy to have all here. However, we must be aware that in order to speak before the council or make any suggestions or changes to the charter, you must be a citizen of Lawton. And I know there are some in the audience that aren't, and they're welcome. They're just not going to be able to speak or make changes or suggestions on the charter.
Okay, we had that in audience participation, but I think you need to offer a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adhere to those conditions as stated both by this motion itself as well as the,
Audience
yeah,
participation.
on the applications to speak.
Okay, audience participation.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second discussion. Please vote.
Mayor, if it's okay, I'll call roll on this one.
Okay.
Hankins Booker? Smith? Chapman? Gill?
Yes.
Hampton? Williams?
Yes.
Warren?
And it's unanimous. Okay, business item number, we called the roll, didn't we? Okay, business item number 1, consider approving a resolution amending Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges, Lawton City Code 2015 by amending fees for online landfill payments and in-person credit debit card landfill payments as set forth in Exhibit A of the resolution and establishing an effective date. Dwayne, are you the information source? I think this is just codifying what we've already directed the staff to do, isn't it? Is that right, Tim?
It is.
Okay.
I'll have the agenda. I mean, you can see who the source is.
Mayor, I can offer a little bit of information from reading the background. See, it looks like we did a merchant service agreement with CSG Forte Payments back in February of 2025. This was related to the solid waste division and the landfill. That company charges a 2.95% convenience fee with a minimum fee of $2.20 per transaction.
Okay, Rebecca, you're actually listed as the information source. Do you have any other information for us? Okay, is this indeed just what we've already directed the staff to bring back to codify it? Okay, council, do I have questions or motion?
Yeah, I just had
Yeah.
one thing. This just pertains to transactions that are done with credit cards, just to be clear. So if a citizen comes with cash, then
okay.
that $2.20 doesn't affect that.
I get you. So it was recommended by the fee committee? Councilman?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, a motion to approve and a second discussion. Please call the roll. Are we calling the roll or are we voting? Vote. Okay, motion carries 7-0, bringing up item 2. Discuss proposed amendments to the Lawton City Charter, receive public comments, select all propositions that will be presented to the electorate at September 9, 2025 election, and provide direction to staff to prepare the election resolution and exhibits that would have the final vote on what day? Where'd our clerk go?
Right here, September 9th, sir.
Okay. September, actually what I meant, the final vote of council, don't we have another meeting?
On the 8th.
We'll do it at the regular meeting on July the 8th.
Okay. And will we have another public input at that point?
No, sir, this is the last one.
This is the last one? Okay, council, what we have here, we went through these this morning, and we actually took several of them out that were true north, that were divided into several groups, and determined we'd be better off to put in a true north section. Now, it's important to realize that we're on our third version of the true north. And I bring that up because sometimes you need things to go through policy and be refined before you send them to the charter. And the True North's been over a year without being amended. I think it's ready to go to the charter. We're going to have some others that we talk about after the citizens give their input that I'm going to recommend the same thing on, that we start some policies on them and refine them over the next year or two and send them to the citizens when we feel like we've got those more refined. One of those that's important to me is efficiency items. I feel like they need to go through the refining process because benchmarking is difficult when other cities do things. You know, everything's not standardized from city to city. So it's going to take some refining to get where we want. Now, I can't imagine anybody being against efficiency, but you've also got to have it right if you're going to put it in the charter. We've also got a few items that are important that we put on. I feel like they're important, and I'm going to present those to you. But first, I want to also bring up to you the citizen suggestions from the other night. I think it was Friday night, wasn't it? Okay, and so the staff has put these together for us, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read those before I open the microphone to the people that have requested to speak. And in order for a suggested charter change from the citizens to be put on, a motion must be made concerning each individual one and taken through that process before it goes on to this list by elected officials. Well, a few of these were staff, but most were elected officials. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read through the citizen suggested charter changes. Rebecca? Okay, I don't see anybody still looking over those, so we're going to go ahead and move forward, okay? At this time, we will open the microphone to citizens of Lawton. Holly LaForest. Okay, Holly, I have your address here, so you have 3 minutes. Push a button and see if you can get a red light to come on.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right. I'm going to talk about the term limits where the council is suggesting to remove them. Currently, we do have a system that allows council members to serve 3 consecutive terms, 9 years in total, which I believe is very generous. My first point is term limits protect against the entrenchment of power. No matter how well-intentioned long-term positions are, they often lead to stagnancy. It can make it harder for new voices, fresh perspectives, and innovative ideas to enter the process. And I believe that public service is not meant to be a career, it's meant to be a calling. Second, term limits encourage voter engagement and candidate participation. When voters know that there's an open seat, they will pay closer attention to you all and hold you accountable. When you as leaders know that someone is looking to come into your spot, I believe you step up and do what you're supposed to do. In short, term limits help foster a healthier democratic ecosystem. And third, and perhaps most importantly, the appearance of fairness, it does matter. Even if every council member is doing a stellar job, and I'm not here to argue otherwise, I love my council representative, the public perception of power being held indefinitely undermines the trust for everyone. It breeds cynicism, and it creates the belief that the government is only for the few and not for the many. Even the President of the United States is limited to 2 terms, 8 years, because we as a nation, we recognize the danger of an unending power that cannot be easily challenged or changed. No one person or office holder should hold the power indefinitely. That principle should apply here too in Lawton. If anything, we should be looking for more ways to engage the public, not fewer checks on long-term positions. In closing, I ask the council to pause and reflect on the long-term implications of this proposal and ask yourselves who truly benefits from eliminating term limits. Is it the city or the select few? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming, Holly. I do want to point out the council's not asking anybody to remove term limits. The council's saying, do we want the citizens to vote or not? Not sure why anybody would want to say, no, the citizens can't vote. And now I have Andrea Ward. Hope I said that right. And Ms. Ward, we have your address, so you go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor Booker, council members, and the fellow residents. I'm again Andrea Ward. I have been a member of this community for over 25 years, seen a lot of different things, the residents struggle, and witness what power, responsive power of leadership, how that can affect our community. I'm not here to blame. I'm just genuinely appreciated just to be heard just a little bit about my concerns. Part of my concerns is that, unfortunately, we have limited openesses in decision-making, often leads to low civic participation. When residents feel excluded, they disengage, and long tenures can stifle new ideas and as well as emerging leaders. That's why I'm here again to advocate for term limits, or what I call leadership rotation. This isn't about removing experiences. This is about public service being a shared responsibility, not a permanent post. Term limits encourage broader community involvement and inspires more residents to run for office. Term limits prevents the consolidation of political power and reduces stagnation. Term limits also encourage leadership to involve with our city's changing needs. Our city has many voices, and our leadership should reflect that in ideas, experience, and vision. But term limits alone is not enough. We must ask, how are we truly engaging our constituents about the local politics in Lawton, Oklahoma? I'm not here to question anyone about their intelligence on how our local government should work, But the bottom line is that when citizens clearly understand these roles, who makes, enforce, and interpret laws in Lawton, they're empowered to advocate, hold leaders accountable, and encourage meaningful changes to what is going on. This clarify can bridge gaps for those that are feeling disengaged and encourage broader involvement. So, Mayor, my thing is that I just want the people to be more informed about what it is that is going on in Lawton, and also to encourage the citizens to be able to do more. And I think that if we have something in place that is not going to stagnate our city by having long-term members in places for a long time. So I know my time is next going to yield my time, but I thank you all for your time.
And thank you for coming. And Paul Green. Paul Green. Paul, we've got your address, so you're good to go. 3 minutes.
And the mic is on. All right. So yes, I am here also speaking on the term limits. It allows everyone to participate. And yes, we would ask that you just leave it as is. You have recommended changes in here, and leave it as is. Take out those recommended changes and leave it as is. Also, many other changes you have proposed are using new words and even incorporating new technology. What is new today and what is awesome, online transactions, online registration, that is good for today, but those words will change in our time. Because many of you here will remember when we all had telephones on our desks that you had to rotate, and we don't do that anymore, right? So that technology was cool then, but no longer used today. So the words we're using today may not mean anything in the future. So changing to match new words is not necessarily a good thing to do. But term limits, they need to stay as they are right now and leave them as is, because our forefathers set it up that way, and we should leave it that way. That's me as a citizen, that's what I think we should do. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for coming. Annette Wiseman. And Annette, we've got your address here. So you're good to go, and you've got 3 minutes.
All right, thank you so much. First, I would like to point out, and I would recommend that the City Council would set another meeting for public input that is not taking place on one of the biggest events of our city. That was shocking, that businesses, sponsors, volunteers, everybody was thinking about being patriotic and attending our community event. I understand I could be wrong, because I wasn't here, I was at the festival, that 4 people attended. To me, that's not a community input by any means. So I would highly recommend, urge you all to schedule another meeting that's not on the same day as a community event. Having said that, I believe term limits are there for a reason. Doesn't matter what party you're with, doesn't matter what power you have. It should be limited at all cases. Everyone needs to work for their job, not get comfortable. That's all.
Okay. What is it? Okay, I can't read this name for sure. Mike Sandelepso? Yeah, come on up, sir, and you correct us on the pronunciation of your name.
My name is Sanfilippo, Mike Sanfilippo.
Okay, Mike, thank you. You've got 3 minutes, and can you tell us, well, I'll pass these around because the address is on them and you can discern the, what ward they go in. Go ahead, Mike, you got 3 minutes.
I have a property over on 2308 Southwest Lee Boulevard that is the last 3 months, it's really flooded. I've had problems with flooding for the last 5 or 6, 10 years. I got Coca-Cola on one side of me. I have Burke Auto Glass, or was Burke Auto Glass, on the other side. And they both filled in their properties, and they're supposedly had like Coca-Cola supposedly had their land slanted to the west, which was where 7-Up Bottling Company is, and there's a drainage between 7-Up and Coke. Well, on the east side of me, there's a drainage ditch over there, and it's supposed to be for my water. Burke, when they did theirs, they slanted their land towards Sheridan Road, and that was supposed to run their water on Sheridan Road. Well, I have pictures here showing where the swimming pool is to the front of my office. My building is on 2308 Southwest Lee Boulevard, and that day there you had to practically swim to get there. I have approximately $20,000 worth of transmissions and parts that has been ruined because of water. And I've got Mrs. Williams, I've called her 3 or 4 times. I've called Stan Booker 3 or 4 times. And I've called just about anybody that I can think of that has anything to do with the city of Lawton to help me about the water problem. It's not my water, it's their water. And also on Lee Boulevard, there's no drainage things on Lee Boulevard close to where my building's at. It has to run over my parking lot, which I've got pictures of that. And I'm just disgusted with the whole thing because I can't get anybody to help me. And it's not my land that's the problem, because I'm kind of in the low area there, and they're running their waters onto me, which makes me look like a pond. And what I need is for the city to do their drainage, and for Gene Burke, which is not there anymore, it's some other outfit, back behind me, over there where the moving company is, they put concrete over there and run the water into my ditch that's supposed to drain my property. And I just got to my wit's end about what to do with it. So that's the reason why I'm here.
Okay, well, this said that you're here about water damage, and that's not what this meeting's about. But we let you talk, and I apologize, I shouldn't have had this on the charter discussion. But what we're going to do is let you get with the city attorney, because in my opinion, everything I've seen out there is a civil case. It's not a city case. Now, the city attorney can correct that if he likes. He's the one that knows the law. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Your time is up.
And the mayor's given me your contact information, so someone from my office will be able to reach out to you, and we'll be able to talk.
Thank you.
And now we have Megan Medina. Okay, Megan, and we have your address, so you can go ahead. You got.
Hi, my name is Megan, and I'd like to make a general statement based on the topic of term limits. And I'd just like to say, if you guys would like to build trust within your communities, you don't do so by eliminating your term limits. The reason I'm here today is actually because there was proposed to the city council that you guys would consider eliminating your terms, which I think is atrocious. I think there's a time and place for everything. I think there's a chapter for everyone in their life. But as an upcoming Gen Z who is interested in politics, I would like to see that there's opportunities for the next generation going forward who would like to represent their city and continue building growth for the future of Lawton. So just a general statement. If you want to build trust, you don't do it by eliminating your term. You hold yourself accountable, and you do so within the bounds of your limits. Thank you.
Thank you. Kesa Whiteley. Kesa, we've got your address here, so you've got 3 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Do I do my proposed charter changes like all at once, or do I have to do it individual for each one? Like an individual form for each one, or can I just do it now? I have multiple like suggestions for charter changes, so do I do that all at once, or do I just do like separate forms for each one?
You have 3 minutes to talk about whatever charter change you would like to recommend, whether it's 1 or 50.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. Thank you. The first one that I want to talk about is that I would like to see something put in place that would address city council members who are elected. I would like to see it require them to fulfill 2/3 at least of their term within their wards. That way it's not murky having people representing wards that they don't live in. I would also like to see us adopt these zoning reform like forms that have been put out. Obviously, I've been here a long time. I've been anti-Westwind for a long time, but mostly anti-industry. And I think that it's really important that we listen to these citizens who are proposing these, because even though they're not technically considered Lawton residents, this does affect them, and I think it's not fair that you all get to make decisions that affect people that don't reside in the city limits, but yet we don't have to hear their input. That's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you for coming. And that's all the requests to speak I had from individuals inside the city limits. So with that, we will continue with discussion. And council, as I said, at any time, if you want to add a citizen recommendation to the elected officials, you'll need to make a motion. And with that, I'm going to bring back up the ones we've been working with. And what I need is my copy of the True North Statement. All right.
That's the one
Thank you.
worked on.
We've actually taken several of these and just put the True North Statement in a section so that it's one vote for the citizens. By the way, I know everybody there, the dais says this, knows this, but it's clear everybody doesn't. We're not changing anything. This council cannot change the charter. We're saying let's vote, let's allow the citizens to vote on it, to allow the citizens to vote on what they want in the charter. So the True North Statement on page 1 takes care of the first, second, third, and fifth items, okay? Please mark those off as True North. First, second, third, and fifth. First, second, third, and fifth. Then, if you'll turn the page, I'm going to let you go ahead and mark off all the True North ones, okay? And the one down there, Article 5, Section 5-1, that's also a True North. Then on page 3, the first, which is Section 11-1, the third, which is the Section 11-3, are True North. Okay. So, I'm sorry? 11-1 and 11-3. Say that again.
She said she had digital 3.
Well, are you okay? All right. Okay, so if you'll mark all of those, they'll be in this one, a new section for the True North Statement. Now, once again, I want to point out, because this is going to come up as we go through this, some things need to be put into policy, put into place, realize what's not right, change it, and we'll call that refining. So we'll put things in policy and refine. And the True North statement's been through 2 changes. It's been a year since anybody's wanted to change it, so we feel like it's ready to go to the charter. And I think most on the dais would agree that it has been a transformative attitude change for the city of Lawton, and would agree that it's something we don't want getting away from us in the future. So that's going to be one of my recommendations. Now, I'm going to go through this whole thing on the things I want, my recommendations, and everybody, and then I'll just open it up. Somebody wants to go through everything, someone wants to go with my recommendations, somebody doesn't, whatever. Okay, on the first page, Article 2, Section 2-2, I'd like to see us wait on that based upon the fact that we've limited ourselves to 4 ballot items. There's not a mayor election for a while, so that can wait, okay? Then on the bottom one, I really don't see how we would ever get to 1 regular meeting every month. We've got so much going on.
No way.
I feel like that one probably just needs to be not considered.
We were here till 11 o'clock.
Because let me tell you something, we were here till 11 o'clock the other night.
And several other nights prior to that.
Yeah. So,
And you might state that the law says we have to quit it.
yeah. Okay, now on page 2, I'm going to say that the council liaison, Donalyn, you want to address that a little bit?
Absolutely. So when I moved from the council liaison position to the city clerk position, the duties of council liaison were included in my contract. The employee that now fills the role of council liaison falls under my purview. So I don't think, unless you guys think differently, that that needs to be a council employee position.
So, and I'm kind of going with that. And if somebody wants to propose that, that's okay. Then the next one, Article 3, Section 3.1, the city manager shall be the chief executive administrative officer of the city government. This is important, but I'm not sure it's important enough to put in the charter because it's already implied. Responsible for fostering the True North culture statement. And I think that's understood, that the city manager is responsible for that. So I feel like that's a low priority item. Then on the next one, Article 3, Section 3-7, this is an efficiency item that I feel like we need to put into policy and refine before we ask the citizens to put it in the charter. And I will have a policy coming to you soon, within the next 60 days, that will get us started in that arena. So I feel like that one needs to be policy and refined. Article 3, Section 3-8, and the next one, Section 4, Article 4, Section 4-2, I feel like both of those need to be policy and refined before we put them in the charter. Then the next one was True North. Okay. Now, Article 8, Section 8-8, we have just found out today we do not need to change it. Tim, do you want to address that?
Yes, so thank you, Mayor. So state statute specifically references a bond, and we were looking at some of our insurance type things, and we found out what we thought was insurance was actually a bond, and so we are good, and we don't need to make that change.
So
Which one was that? 8?
that is Section 8, or Section 8-8. It's on page 2.
I've got 8, 5, that's not it.
Everybody got that marked off? Okay, now we're on page 3, I think. The very first one, section 11-1 is True North, so we already dealt with that. Article 11, section 11-2, I feel like that needs to be policy and refined. The next one is True North. I feel like this one about strategic plans, this is what we're practicing, but the truth is we're new at it. We do know this, that the current way that we've been doing strategic plans, or the way that's actually in the charter, hasn't worked very good. The last time it was actually brought up to date was 2005, and if you read it, it's most of what it suggests is not even applicable today, to Paul Green's point. And so we feel like the way we're heading at it is working. We're developing strategic plans by item and department, et cetera. And as we continue to refine that, maybe next year we'll be ready to make the charter recommendation for the citizens. Now I've got Article 8, Section 8-5A. The city manager or any authority who lays off, suspends without pay for more than 10 days, demotes or removes any employee in the classified service after a probationary period of 6 months currently, and that's being asked to go to 12 months. Shall at that time or within 2 days thereafter deliver or have delivered or mail by registered, certified, or similar special mail to the employee a written statement of the reason for the layoff, suspension, demotion, or removal. And basically, it's about changing the probationary period on new hire employees from 6 months to 12 months. Dwayne, do you want to address that in any way?
No, you don't want me to address it? No, this is an item that needs to happen. Given the training and the collective bargaining agreements that we have with both police and fire, we already bargain part of their probationary periods to 12-month windows, and this would help us match up with the general employees. Would bring them in line with that as well. We'd have all three groups the same.
Okay, I've actually got that labeled as important to me, and we can disagree on that when we go through these, but I think the probationary period is important.
So, what's his report for 6 months? What's your report for 6 months or 12 months?
They're asking for 12. It is 6 now. They're asking for 12. Okay, the next one, section 4-3, state law limits that to 50,000, so you can strike that one. Okay, strike that one. Then section 6-1B is the term limits ones, which all we're asking is to, all anybody's asking, I don't remember who added it, but all that's being asked is that it be sent to the citizens, let the citizens decide what they want. Obviously, the ones that came here tonight don't want it, they would be able to vote to keep term limits. If somebody else wanted to vote for term limits, I kind of have that as low priority for me. If we've got one open for it, that's fine, but if we don't, it's fine with me to push it off down the road or not do it at all. It's not going to affect me. Then the last one, this is one, let me read it here. To appoint or elect, well, basically it's when, okay, here's something that happened. In a nutshell, I'm going to use, can I use you as an example?
Why not?
Okay. When George Gill came into office, he had no appointments until his last year in office.
That's true.
And he would have been appointing people for the next council member. Why do you have appointments? I feel like we need to find a way to allow incoming council member, or incoming elected officials, it could apply to the mayor as well, to be able to change the appointments when a new person is put in office. The citizens put you, us, in office, and we appoint people that represent what we want represented to that board or commission or authority. And if you come in and you don't get to appoint anybody until the last term and it's affecting the next person, I'm not sure how that really fits the spirit of what the citizens put you here for. Now, there's some challenges our attorneys told me about today, and I'm going to let him discuss them, but I want to tell you, I ultimately would like to see us agenda an item and then direct staff to come up with some solutions how we can get there, because every ordinance would have to be changed, I think, because every ordinance has it in there. So with that, I'm going to let Tim speak.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So in seeing this, the first thing I thought of was our authorities, and our authorities are separate and distinct legal entities once the trust indenture is created, and we just can't on our own go change the authority's trust indenture. So that would be somewhat problematic to be able to say, well, a new council member comes in and they can make a recommendation to a trust indenture. So that would be something we would really have to look at. And like the mayor said, for commissions and boards, or well, commissions and the others that's referenced here that are by code, that might be more easier to do, but again, would require ordinance changes. So yes, I think this is one that needs a little more study than to rush this into a charter change.
So if everybody is okay, I'll agenda an item for us to discuss further. Ms. Chapman.
Well, I think it's important too, because when we do come into office for the first time and we see this list of people appointed to these boards and commissions, and we have no idea who they are. So I think this is a good thing to look at this.
Okay. Is everybody okay? I'll put it on the agenda for a later item, and we won't consider it for charter. I think it's premature for that. Okay, so basically what I have, my recommendations, and the most important is True North. For me, I like the probationary period being extended to 12 months. I like, although I have it as low because it is understood, if we have one available, I'd like section 3-1, that's on the second page, the second one down, and it defines the city manager is in charge of the True North. And it really just makes clear something that should be obvious, but sometimes it's important to be obvious. Now, with that, I really will open it up because the term limit deal is not going to affect me. I don't care if we wait, but I don't know why you wouldn't at some point let citizens vote. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't let citizens vote on something. But council, I'll open it up to you with that.
Are we going to speak on each one, Mr. Mayor, or?
You can speak on anything you want to, sir. You've got the floor.
I'm going to speak on term limits. So I'll let everyone know how I stand on that right from the beginning. I think we should leave term limits as they are right now. I don't see that there's a change that needs to be made in term limits. But I do want to say one thing for all those people that were here tonight saying that they think the same way I do. My reason may be different. My reason is this, that it's working fine. I hear what everyone says, but let's remember what this lady right back here said. You're not limited and you're not stopped by running. Every time there's an election, you have that right to file and run. So if you've got a council person that's been there, vote him out. If you've got a position that you want to run for, you're able to do that. So term limits are not going to fix everything like one might think. But personally, I'm happy the way it is. It's really not going to affect me one way or the other. So I just wanted to make that known. And here again, this is a recommendation to the people to vote on. It's not the council voting on term limits or anything else. There's a really large rumor mill out there that's trying to say, well, the council's voting for A and the council's voting for B. We're not. We're putting these things on the charter, and a lot of this stuff is already instilled into the city government anyway. So some of these things that you want really are already there if you would get a charter and read it. Thank you.
So, you know, we could go at it this way, and we could make comments at random. What we could do is vote, do we want the True North to be one? If somebody would make a motion for the True North right here, that the True North be one of the ballot items, and somebody second it, we'll vote on it. No? Randy?
I make a motion that we include as one of the items the True North.
I second.
And we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, please vote. Well, we're in the middle of voting right now. Motion carries 7-0. And Mr. Hampton wants to make a comment.
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to say that a friendlier city is a city where we help each other in any type of vision that we have to make this community better. And I really feel that the True North has really taken on an ability to bridge a gap that I think has been in the city for a long time. If you come to the city and you're wanting to start a business, if you come to the city and you want to get something done, it is important that the staff and the council and everybody try to help bring options that are going to help that to come into fruition, rather than to tell you why it won't happen. And with that said, I think that this has transformed a relationship with the citizens and the city to try to work as a team to accomplish and make happen those great ideas that come forth without somebody getting bulldogged and told why they can't do it. Thank you, Mayor.
I just wanted to say a little bit, and Alan touched on it a little bit, but I think that the True North has been one of the most transformative things that the council has put in place in 30 years. But I think it wouldn't have accomplished near what it did if it hadn't been embraced by the city manager and staff. I think that the success of the True North is directly tied to the staff's acceptance of it and willingness to make it happen. And I appreciate that.
So I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I don't know why we couldn't combine and put into the True North statement, as it fits into the charter, that it's the city manager's function to put that in there. And that way it's just one vote. But now we would need a motion to do that. We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Please vote. Okay, and that passes unanimous. Now, I'm going to tell you, thank you for pointing that out, because John, our city manager, John Ratliff, has embraced the True North statement, as I have seen all of our employees do. But I do think it's important that it be in there, because John's not going to be here forever, just like we're not going to be here forever. And we've just opened up another one. Now, number 2 on my list is the probationary wording. And I would like to see us add that to the charter. It is in the charter now at 6 months. I'd like to see it 12 months. Give somebody a little bit longer if they're struggling to fit the picture. Comments? You make a motion to add it? and a second. Discussion. Please vote. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, now I'm going to open it up. What do you guys, where you at on the other stuff? We might go back to term limits.
I'll go back to term limits.
Okay,
And I'll just
go
start
for
this
it.
off and see how it works. I make a motion, we leave term limits as they are and don't put anything on the charter regarding term limits whatsoever.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second, and once again, all we're doing is saying you don't want to send it to the citizens to vote on. And that's what you're saying, right, with your second? Discussion. Randy?
Just wanted to say, again, it has no effect on me whatsoever because I won't be doing this again. But I have never, ever, ever been in favor of limiting a citizen's ability to choose their own representative. I don't know, I don't care if that's local level, state level, or federal level. I think they should always have the opportunity to choose who they want to represent them. The other part of that is I hear, and I'm going to quit reading Facebook. I've sworn it off about 30 times, but I keep going back. But it's so full of misinformation. You know, the city council's had term limits forever. No, that's not true. The city council in Lawton, Oklahoma has only had term limits for 13 years. 2012, I believe, is when the charter was changed. So, you know, to think that it's since the beginning of time is not correct. Up until that point, the citizens had a choice on who they elected. Just food for thought.
Mr. Hampton? Oh, no, I better let the councilwoman go. She had her light on, and
I'm sure I was first, but...
I'll put you next.
You know, this is kind of a different slant on term limits, but what I need to say is if we don't get people running for council positions, then we're not, I mean, what are we going to do? People that are qualified, that are young, enthusiastic, we want you, but you have to learn how to apply, and you have to have some qualifications and that sort of thing, but we're not stopping people from applying for council seats. You got to do it.
Mr. Hampton?
Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate it. I just want to make a few comments about council and term limits. I think that what we have now is more than adequate, considering the load that's there. There are some that on the council aren't working full-time, but I'm still carrying a full-time job as well as other interests that I have. And it takes a lot of time. It takes more time than I probably have, and especially with this council because we deal with a lot. There are things that if you want to run, I think it's important that you understand this job does not pay, and a lot of money comes out of my pocket to do the things that I do. I think we get $150 a week, and the running around and the things that I do costs a lot of money. And I'm telling you this so that you consider the cost before you jump into this, because I think anybody that wants to do this should be able to do this, but this is not something that you're just going to be able to jump in and do. My wife and I set aside $12,000 just to start to run for a campaign. It isn't cheap to run a campaign. So if you're going to do this, Councilwoman Booker is exactly right. We do want you to do that. We want you, but look into it. Make sure that you can jump in and handle the responsibility. I am surprised at the amount of stress that it causes on people. I've had some stressful issues. I had a heart attack. I had some other issues that I think were directly related to the amount of responsibility that I decided that I was going to take. My son told me that he wanted to be in politics. So I thought, well, I'm a good dad. I'll run into politics, just kind of pave the way. Well, it has been a cost. Many people think that this is like a prestigious position, and it is. But there is so much responsibility and so much that you have to read and so much that you have to deal with and so much that you have to learn that it is a responsibility. And I just want to kind of throw that out there. Term limits is maybe up in Washington and maybe in the state is something, but local politics is something totally different. It is nonpartisan. You're not part of a Republican or Democrat. Matter of fact, I've been asked to go to the Republican Party and to speak, and I told them that this is nonpartisan. All the citizens in Ward 5, no matter what, the Democrat, Republican, are my constituents. Many people don't even understand this. The homeless people in my ward are my constituents. Everybody in my ward is my constituent, and you have to be nonpartisan, and you have to deal with everybody's needs, no matter what they are, and they are opposing. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, Mayor, because we can sit here and talk about term limits and a lot of other things, but we have to talk about the responsibility that you're taking when you decide to take one of these seats. And some do better at it, some do worse at it. I try to do what I think is close to my heart. So true, term limits, and I'm going to tell you the truth, term limits don't stop anything because you have to run every time there is an election, whether it's term limits or not. And you have to stand on what you're able to do and what you're able to accomplish. So I think that I agree that we need to say the same, but make sure that if you're going to be taking on this responsibility, that you count the costs so that you're able to handle it, because it is very taxing. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Megan, I look forward to seeing more of you. You are in my ward. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'd like to thank each and every one of the citizens. Oh, and Annette, also in my ward. I actually kind of pastored her wedding vows. So again, just letting you guys know that we thank you personally for each and every person that came here. You voiced your opinion. We all discussed this, and I don't think anybody here was truly for doing away with term limits. But thank you for being here. And I just want to give a big shout out to our city staff and everybody that's here tonight. The Freedom Festival was good, very well run, and looking forward to it again next year. But thank you for everyone that's here tonight.
Ms. Williams.
I want to echo some of the things that Councilman Hampton was stating. Number one, it takes money, lots of money, when you're running a campaign. I just say, fortunate enough, I had enough people that were supporting me while I was running, and I thank them for that. Time, it takes a lot of your time if you're going to be able to actually serve your constituents in your ward. You have to be able to listen what they're telling you. You talk about term limits, and the reason why I voted the way I did vote is because of what my constituents were saying. Now, with that being said, though, I think at a later date, later time, possibly probably will be changed to unlimited. When you start running and you figure out the cost that it's costing you to run, you may eventually change your mind about the limits. And I'm talking about lots of money. We're not talking about 1,000. We're talking about thousands of dollars if you run a good campaign. You have to have love for the people in your ward, just love for people generally. And, you know, I do have that. I care about my constituents. Like I said, I do listen to what they tell me. But a lot of people didn't know until they actually got in and started running, because I've heard some people talk about it. I didn't know it was going to cost this much money. That's what a lot of people have said. I didn't know it was going to take up this much, much of my time. But just remember that money, time, and spending time with your constituents and listening to what they're actually telling you. That's all I have.
I want to encourage people to register to run. When do we have that coming up?
The end of July.
The end of July. And I'm going to tell you, and I said it when we were in a public debate for mayor, and I had 4 opponents. At least these people filed, and I appreciate them filing and standing up to make a difference. And I think that's what it's all about. Instead of complaining, put your name in the ring. Get in the middle of it. Ms. Chapman.
I want to say there's some really wonderful positives on being a council person. I love trying to help people. I don't blow my horn and announce everyone, oh, I helped this person or that one. Just having someone come to you with an issue and you try your very best to find the solution for them. Sometimes I have to tell them something they don't want to hear, that they don't expect. But for most of the time, we get things done on a one-to-one basis. And for me, that has been so rewarding to get to know people in my ward and getting to work with them and trying to solve their individual issues. So there's a lot of positives to this too.
There are, and it's very fulfilling. And that's something I'd say to all of you. It's very fulfilling. And something that Mary Ann said to me, it is addictive helping citizens. Mary Ann?
I just blew out 2 tires on my husband who passed away, his pickup. And that was costly, but it was mostly embarrassing because looking around my ward, I hit the curb. And I tell you, it's, those are the risks, and I don't want to have a heart attack either, so.
Let's vote. You're voting to, okay, so a yes vote means we're not putting it for a vote to the citizens. A yes vote means we are not allowing the citizens to vote. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. If you vote yes on this, you are saying, I do not want the citizens to vote on it. Are we voting?
I did.
We're voting. Calm and sober. We're voting. Okay, motion carries 6-1. Now, as far as I'm concerned, council, as far as I'm concerned, we can stop there. We've got the probationary wording. We've got the true north. We don't have to send 4. The other stuff I don't think is ready to go in the charter.
Agreed.
And we can just send 2.
In fact, I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that,
You make a motion that we stop?
yeah,
We have a motion is made to stop adding stuff to the ballot. We have a second discussion. Please vote. Motion carries. Can I have a motion to go to executive session?
second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Hankins Booker. Smith. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Williams.
Yes.
Warren.
We are back from executive session. Can I get a motion to return? Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Hankins Booker. Smith. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Williams. Uyghur. Warren.
Quorum is established. Executive session item number 3, Tim.
Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss the pending action in District Court, Comanche County, titled Julie Magnus versus City of Lawton, CJ 2023-410. That conversation occurred and no action is necessary.
Hankins Booker. Smith. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Williams.
Yes.
Warren.